Imagine stepping into a time machine and journeying back to the year 1565. You'd find yourself in the oldest city in the United States, St. Augustine, Florida. In the sweltering heat of a September day, Spanish explorer Pedro Menéndez de Avila stepped ashore and named the land after the feast day of St. Augustine. For over 2 centuries, St. Augustine served as the capital of Spanish Florida, a beacon of European civilization amidst the wild New World. But the winds of change were constant, and control of this coveted land shifted. From 1763 to 1783, the British claimed St. Augustine as the capital of their East Florida territory. Then, the Spanish regained control until 1822, when this jewel of the Florida coast was ceded by treaty to the burgeoning United States. As the Americans took the reins, St. Augustine's role evolved. It remained the territorial capital until 1824, when the center of power moved to Tallahassee. But St. Augustine was far from finished. In the 1880s, developer Henry Flagler saw the city's potential as a tourist destination. He began buying up local rail lines and building grand hotels, laying the groundwork for Florida's thriving winter tourist trade. Today, St. Augustine's rich history can be felt in its cobblestone streets and grandiose Spanish forts. It's a city that has weathered the storms of history, changing hands and changing roles, yet always remaining at the heart of America's story. St. Augustine, a city that has stood the test of time, continues to be a vibrant part of America's history and economy. Moving forward to 1607, we land in Jamestown, Virginia, the site of the first permanent English colony in North America. This historic city was founded on the 26th of April and was initially known as James Fort, named in honor of the English king. The early years of this fledgling settlement were marked by struggle and hardship. The colonists grappled with disease, famine, and conflict with the local indigenous tribes. Matters became so dire that the settlement was briefly abandoned in 1610. Yet the English were not easily deterred. They returned, and by 1624, Jamestown had grown into a small, bustling town, serving as the capital of the newly minted British Royal Colony of Virginia. However, the passage of time brought decline. Jamestown's importance waned, and by the end of the Civil War in 1865, much of the original settlement, now known as Old Jamestown, had fallen into ruin. But the story of Jamestown does not end there. At the dawn of the 20th century, preservation efforts began in earnest, breathing new life into these historic grounds. In 1936, the site was designated a national park and renamed Colonial National Park. And in a nod to its English roots, Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain was a guest of honor at the 400th anniversary celebration of Jamestown's founding in 2007. Jamestown, once a struggling settlement, now stands as a testament to the resilience and enduring spirit of the early English settlers. Leaving the English colonies, we journey west to 1607 Santa Fe, New Mexico, the oldest state capital in the U.S. This city holds tales of time far before Spanish colonists arrived. Indigenous peoples had been living there for centuries, with one Pueblo village, established around 900 AD, situated in what is today downtown Santa Fe. In the late 17th century, indigenous groups expelled the Spanish from the region for a dozen years, but the rebellion was eventually quelled. Santa Fe continued under Spanish rule until Mexico's independence in 1810, then briefly became part of the Texas Republic in 1836. It wasn't until after the Mexican-American War in 1848 that Santa Fe and the larger region we now know as New Mexico officially became part of the United States. Today, Santa Fe stands as a vibrant capital city, its Spanish territorial style of architecture a testament to its layered past. Santa Fe, a city deeply rooted in indigenous Spanish and American histories, continues to reflect its rich heritage through its distinctive architecture. Returning to Virginia in 1610, we find ourselves in Hampton, an English outpost that would play a significant role in American military history. Known initially as Point Comfort, Hampton was established by the same individuals who founded nearby Jamestown. Its strategic location at the mouth of the James River and the entrance to the Chesapeake Bay made it a vital military outpost. Following American independence, Hampton's importance only grew. During the Civil War, while Virginia served as the capital of the Confederacy, Fort Monroe and Hampton remained in Union hands throughout the conflict. This steadfast fort stood as a beacon of Union strength amidst a sea of Confederate control. In the present day, Hampton continues to uphold its military legacy as the home of Joint Base Langley Eustis, and it's just across the river from the Norfolk Naval Station. Hampton, once a small English outpost, now stands as a symbol of America's military strength and resilience. Here, Jamestown's founders first met the Kikotan people, the region's indigenous inhabitants. The initial meeting was peaceful, but unfortunately, harmony didn't last. Within a few years, relations soured and the Kikotan were driven from their homes and brutally wiped out by the colonists. By 1690, Kikotan was incorporated into the larger town of Hampton. Today, Kikotan remains a part of the larger municipality of Hampton. Moving right along to 1613, we find ourselves in Newport News, Virginia. The English were the first to plant their roots here, but it wasn't until the 1880s that the city truly began to flourish. The introduction of rail lines brought Appalachian coal to the city, kickstarting the shipbuilding industry. Newport News Shipbuilding, a major player in this industry, emerged as a significant employer in the state, producing military-grade aircraft carriers and submarines. Newport News continues to be a hub of industry, with its shipbuilding heritage still alive and well. Traveling northward, we arrive in Albany, New York, in 1614. Dutch traders, seeking to establish a strong foothold in the New World, erected Fort Nassau on the banks of the Hudson River. This strategic outpost was the seed from which the city of Albany sprouted. However, the Dutch hold on Albany was short-lived. In 1664, the English wrested control and rebranded the city in honor of the Duke of Albany. From then on, Albany's star rose steadily. By 1797, it had earned the distinction of being named the capital of New York State, a role it holds to this day. As the centuries rolled on, Albany became a regional powerhouse in industry and economy. This prosperity lasted until the mid-20th century when much of upstate New York's economy began to falter. Despite economic challenges, Albany remains an influential city in New York, boasting a unique blend of history and architecture. In 1617, Dutch traders established a settlement which is now known as Jersey City, New Jersey. Nestled on land once occupied by the Lenape people, the Dutch marked the beginnings of New Netherland around this time. As the years rolled on, the settlement grew steadily, playing a critical role in the tapestry of the American Revolution. It wasn't until 1820 that it gained formal recognition as the city of Jersey, and 18 years later, it was reincorporated as Jersey City. Today, Jersey City stands as New Jersey's second-largest city, a testament to its enduring history. Our journey brings us to Plymouth, Massachusetts in 1620, known for the historic landing of the Pilgrims. After crossing the Atlantic aboard the Mayflower, these brave souls sought a new beginning in an unfamiliar land. Their first year was marked by the harsh winter, and the celebration we now know as the First Thanksgiving, a feast of gratitude for the bountiful harvest. This would not have been possible without the assistance of the Wampanoag tribe, who helped the Pilgrims survive that first winter. Plymouth served as the capital of the Plymouth Colony until 1691, when it merged with the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Plymouth continues to hold a significant place in American history, marking the beginning of a new chapter for the Pilgrims. Finally, we arrive at our last stop, Weymouth, Massachusetts, founded in 1622. The second permanent European settlement in Massachusetts, Weymouth was a bold endeavor by the backers of the Plymouth colony. However, starting a new settlement proved to be an uphill battle. These early settlers found themselves ill-equipped to support their own lives, let alone sustain a burgeoning outpost. Struggling to survive, the settlers faced numerous hardships, a testament to the harsh realities of pioneering new lands. Nevertheless, they persisted, and Weymouth was eventually incorporated into the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Today, Weymouth forms part of the bustling Boston metro area, a far cry from its humble beginnings in 1622.